You just sent the live stream link, huh?
Yep.
I see. Okay.
That's what I do. That's what I'm here for.
The swipe.
If you guys need to get fucked over, I got you. It's easy. It's in my blood. It happens to me all the time. So welcome.
Everybody else also gets it too. It's contagious.
Exactly. Let me just welcome everybody. Bienvenidos todos. Estamos en la segunda parte del Casino del Tío Salo. Discúlpenme, la cagué. Compartí el enlace de nuestro stream en vez del Discord. El enlace del Discord está en la descripción de abajo por si quieren unirse. Es gratis. Y bueno, vamos a seguir. Solana, Solamis. That's what we were looking at.
All right, let me share my screen. I've been dying to look at this. This one in XRP. All right, for Solana right here, what I was saying before is that we went down to this bottom of the blue zone. We held above it. We closed above it. But right now, we're getting a rejection. Right, you'd want to see it where it would be bearish. Right now, we're getting the rejection at all of these EMAs, the 9, the 5, and the median. Whenever you see all of that together, that gives you the perfect confluence that this is most likely not going to close above. The percentage chance that we could get is based off of the this indicator right here, the HPDR, the historical price delta range. And that's telling you that we have around, number is, I can't do the math, around like 61.8% chance that we will not close below here as long as we're rejecting this level. And as long as we're doing rejecting this level, our next target for an easy trade, like the easiest entry or trade target that you would have, is this bottom 38.2% level. And the reason why I love this indicator so much is because it gives you these numbers and you can do the math, where it tells you have a 61.8% chance of hitting this level as long as you're rejecting this level. And right now, this level is sitting at $126.16. You're seeing momentum is starting to flip back down. It's not really that bad yet because it's still within the neutral zone. If you see it break into this area, this is the bearish control zone. Then bears are fully in control. Right now, price is making a couple higher lows, and the momentum is making higher lows as well. So there's no divergence available. What we would want to see on a reversal, we want to see price touch this area right here at 38.2. We want to see momentum make a higher low. And that would tell us that we have a hidden bullish divergence here. Like we would not just have one drive, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4 drives of hidden bullish divergence. And that would easily give us a target of this 50% range, which right now is at,
where?
To confirm it, we would need a close above this median, which right now is at $157.33.
Got it. But you're looking at the weekly.
Yeah, but right now I don't think it's going to close above there. I'm very, very certain. I don't want to say certain because there's no certainties in trading, but I'm almost close to certain that this area is going to keep rejecting right now, because if we had bullish strength after this huge hammerhead, we would have broken right through it. But since we didn't, I feel like we have to at the very least target this zone here at 38.2 at $125.85. At that point, we would have to pull in all of our bullish hopium to make sure that area holds, because if this area does not hold, every single time we've broken the blue zone, I can't even find a single time we've broken the blue zone on Solana in this entire bull rally. We have not broken it since this dump here on November of 2022 when he went down to $8. We have not broken that blue zone ever since then. So right now, if we are still in a bull market and the bulls still are in control, this is where I would look for our next higher low. I would look for a wick over here, and preferably I would like to see us close somewhere around, like, at the very least above this close, which is at 128.63. But preferably we want to see a close above this wick low right here, which is at 131.42. We get a close above that. That would, for my system, it would confirm a swing failure pattern below this lower here. It would touch exactly the support we needed here, and then I could easily give us a 61.8% chance of hitting this top blue zone, which right now is currently above our previous cycle highs right now, and that would give us a target at the minimum of $216. But I don't think this blue zone will hold to the upside, because it usually doesn't on these trending moves, and we go up to this green level. The green level is the 61.8% level, and right now that number is at $293. So if you break above this median, after this weekly close, this median is very likely going to move up. It's going to, what I'm seeing right now, based on off of this previous consolidation, off of these wicks, I feel like it's a very high percentage chance this median is going to go to this green meme line right here at 162.50. If we close above that, I think that that's going to be what I need to get us a target of this 38.2 at the very least, if not this 50%. What I'm curious to see if the Fibonacci's line up with that. Because if they do, that'd be the ultimate confluence. Right now, we're bouncing. We found our lows at this bottom 0%. We closed at the 38.2. The 38.2 is what I call the shallow fib. That's the level that you want to hold on an uptrending move. So since we are still holding that, it's not looking the worst. But if we break below this, we would come back down to the 236, and we see that lining right up with this bottom blue zone. Whenever these line up, this is what I consider the opportunity zone, where you could take a high probability long here. Your stop loss would be right here at 125.77. I would put it personally a little bit below because crypto is very predatory and altcoins are even more predatory. So my stop loss would be somewhere around $118. So if we go below there, I have a very high probability chance that we're going to drop to this 100 EMA and the 78.6, which is at $89.37. But for now, we're still holding where we need to. And to give you the opposite end, the way to reverse this and say that we've marked a local low here and we're going to move up is that we want to get a close above this 50%, which is at 152.71. If we get a close above the 52%, then we have to target this top blue zone at 216.30. We're most likely going to get a rejection there because every time we've been at the bottom of the blue zone, like let me find it. Like right here, we were at the bottom of the blue zone. We got a little bit of a wick. This time we didn't get a rejection. Let's see, this time we did. Yeah, right here, this time we got a rejection. We got a rejection here almost every single time. I haven't really, yeah, right here we got a rejection. Here it was in a bear market, so we can't really say. Here we got a little bit of a rejection, but then we ended up moving up afterwards. So at the very least, we would expect a rejection there at the top of the blue zone. Expect like a little bit of a higher low. If it's very bullish, it'll break through. And we would have the 61.8% target on the HPDR. On the fibs, we would want to break the 78.6, which is at 183.83 on the weekly. If we break that, we have to target this 161, which is at 315. The number is going to go down. What I like to see is that it's very close to the 61.8. So at that point, these two will very likely line up, and that's going to give us a very high probability trade. And because this thing gives you the numbers, it's going to tell you have a 61.8% chance. If that happens, that we're going to hit this number, which is right now at $291.73. I'm going to look at the momentum pivots, then I'll be done with Solana. So right now on the weekly, we're getting the same thing. We're retesting the silver cross that we confirmed back in November of 2023. We're holding at this 55 EMA for now. Our momentum pivot for the weekly is $139.24. As long as we're holding above 139.23, the trend is still to the upside. The momentum is still pointed up. We're getting volatility starting to try to expand from the lows. Let me draw a horizontal line to tell you to mark it for you for a visual. Because in my opinion, it's much easier to see it whenever you have a line. So right now we went below the 15% zone, which is what I consider the extreme lows in volatility. We're struggling to get above it. We're basing there right now. If we do get a close above the 15%, that confirms for me that volatility is expanding. If this thing is still pointed up, the stochastic momentum indicator, and the price is still above this number, at that point we would have a setup to the upside. Like remember on Mara where we had a setup to the downside on the weekly?
Yeah.
We have the opposite on Solana right now. As long as the price is above 139.28 and the volatility is expanding, we have a setup to the upside. And the last time this happened was right here, and the price moved up from $22 all the way up to a little over $200. So a little over almost a 10x. Not too bad, right? We had that exact same setup right now. But the only way to confirm this setup, in my opinion, is I would want to see it close above this 9 EMA, which we're projecting right now. That number is at 141.50 roughly. If we can
which
break
is around your 139.
Yeah. And if we can get a break above that, then after that, I would have to target, let's give you a number, that 244.9 level. Where in the HPDR before, we were looking at 245 to 250. Which whenever we get these setups lining up together, that gives you the highest probability trades. So if you were to break above this 9 EMA on the weekly, and we're still able to keep momentum to the upside, and we're getting volatility expanding, then we would have a based off of the HPDR setup, a 61.8% chance of hitting that upper $200 level, maybe 250. It's going to move down after the couple of next weekly closes. But at that point, in my opinion, bulls are going to be strongly in control, and we're going to be pushing towards new highs from there. Right now, my personal target, because I'm a holder of Solana spot, I'm a Solana manlet. My target for Solana is around $400. Once we get there, I'm out.
At 400, you're out. And for now, is there any invalidation to your like anything just closing above 139, 141? Would that make you start to get worried and create some targets towards the downside? Or
yeah, so what I want to see right now to invalidate this whole thesis is if we get a weekly close below 110. If we get a weekly close below 110, at that point I have to target around $70 back where the 200 SMA is at on the weekly.
Got it. Okay, I got it. I got it. Maybe we'll see. Thank you so much. And I'll give you 1 second. Rivian would be the next one, Alex.
All right, perfect.
Let me do soy lamis. Ok, tenemos aquí el gráfico de los soy lamis. Bastante sencillo lo que estamos viendo. Obviamente tenemos altos más bajos, estamos formando bajos más bajos, pero seguimos dentro de todo en lo que podría ser una tendencia alcista. Lo que sí es que hemos perdido el EMA 9, fuimos en la semanal en Solana, el precio en este momento está en $144, ¿ok? El EMA 9 está en 151, que coincide con este nivel, que también lo usó como resistencia, y fue rechazado. También el de los 146 es donde está el 21, ahí también fue rechazado, y estamos aquí abajo en este momento en los 143.92. Lo que nos está diciendo Farhan un poco, y también vamos a voltear a ver la diaria rápido para que también tengan una idea. Vean el rechazo de literalmente todos y cada uno de los promedios que estamos lidiando con, incluyendo el 200, el 9, el 100 en rojo, el 21 amarillo y el 55 en naranja. Bueno, ¿qué es lo que estamos buscando? Hay dos posibilidades en este momento. El poder cerrar arriba de los 139 a 141, que es básicamente donde estamos en este momento. Si podemos cerrar aquí en la semanal, empujar, simplemente irnos de lado, tendríamos un 60% de chance de ir a explorar por ahí de los $240 en Solami, que está mucho más arriba por acá. Pero, y ojo acá, porque este es un gran pero, si llegas a cerrar abajo de los $112, que están aquí más o menos por acá, si llegas a tener un cierre semanal abajo de los $112, prepárate porque esto empieza a caerse y rápido y fuerte. Y como todo cripto, está justamente en medio de todo. Así que no hay tanto que agregar. Vale, pues. We said Rivian.
Rivian hurts my soul to look at.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing on the daily. All right, cool. You guys see my chart? Unmuted.
1 second. Yes, sir.
All right. Let's go to the weekly here. Let's check our meme levels here. And so this is interesting to me. Rivian's not looking the best. I mean, on the weekly, what we're seeing now is another deviation, which isn't a good sign. We can see perfectly we rejected our meme line and then fell right below the weekly 9. Opened the weekly on a rejection of it, now below the 21. Not the best sign overall. And for now, I have next support at $12.36. Bulls want to hold that, though. Each time they haven't been able to hold that, it's led to big dumps. I mean, you can see here, price just sliced right through it and then basically lost it again, leading to another dump. So it's a big level for Rivian, essentially. This red line.
Would you mind pulling up the closure of that red candle right before the big move up, right next to this one?
This one, right?
Yeah.
1083.
So closure here is 1032. I have.
Yeah. So my stop loss on my spot Solana stock, Rivian stock, is at $10.15. So if it drops below there, then I'll automatically be out. Yeah. But I have that same. It lines up with your the previous higher low. So
yeah, then we'd have it makes sense. Exactly. So it makes sense. And that's why, for people watching this, I'd watch this 1230 level because if this doesn't hold, there's probably a good chance we're going to fill this again down. And the question will be, do we break this low here or does it try to form a dirty higher low and then we break these highs here for the higher high? I'm unsure and I don't like looking that much into the future. I play levels. And as I see right now, we're deviating. And the weekly confirms that. If we go to the daily now, we see the deviation very obviously. Lost it, couldn't reclaim it. This EMA 100 was, in my opinion, you can kind of get, like, I don't solely use EMAs, especially the 100. I like them mixed in with my confluence of the lines as well, because what you'll often sometimes get is if you're only bidding this and focus on nothing else, you'll get little traps where like we're holding it. It's still though what rejecting my meme line, but we are holding the EMA 100 on the daily, only for this just to fully lose it, and it leads to big dumps because people longing this area here were expecting a push up, and we didn't get that. And you can see the rejection here. This is strong resistance at 1371. So as I see it now, I want to see how this daily closes for tomorrow, because if bulls can reclaim this daily MA 100 and then get back above this 1371, all right, cool, better sign for sure, for maybe a push up to 1430. But in my opinion, it's going to be hard for bulls to get back above this $15 level. If they were remotely bullish, you would have expected this to hold the daily SMA 200 and then for us to kind of consolidate on it. But what you got was a full-on deviation, and now we're losing the 100. In my opinion, my last stand for the bull case is, we'll lose often the 200. And then very logically, the next target's the 100. If we lose the 100, it's, in my opinion, it's donezo. So we're on some interesting levels with Rivian, and we also have a massive gap here, so it gives more confluence to me that. And I look at gaps along with other things, but in stocks, they do like to get filled. And I just look at that as, okay, cool. Yeah, this $12.28 region is important. We don't want to lose this. Ideally, we can come down and then maybe find some kind of, higher low here, which would be slightly logical on the weekly, of course, because as it stands now, let me see here. Zoom out, go up, boom, boom. Yeah, I mean, to me, this just looks like it's in a downtrend. I guess it'll be more confirmed if we get that lower low, if we break 1292. But to me, I would then look at, let's see how the 4 hour is looking. And the 4 hour is, again, telling us weakness. But what I like about this 4 hours, it again is solidifying. We're getting a lot of nice confluence around $12. So I ideally watch $12. The specific meme line's at $12.13. I'm liking the 4 hour lining up nicely with that level. And I also believe, let me see, I think it was the daily as well now. So I mean, essentially all I can say is for some hopium is we bounce nicely from $12 and then reclaim essentially 1372.
What's very interesting is that red meme line lines right up with that gap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it also lines up with the 4 hour SMA 200. But if the daily already lost it,
I have it at 12 dead on. And
12.
That meme line. Yeah, because if you look at it, it eliminates the wick all the way that when it started down there on the left. And then on the right, it blocks, it literally rejected that. Well, it didn't reject it. Actually, that green candle before the next uppity up closed right there at 12. 12 is, in my opinion, a critical level.
Yeah, and I agree with you. And, we're just playing, if we just like take all this off, and I like to sometimes just analyze price action.
That 4 hour looks like a head and shoulders to me. What about you guys?
It on the daily, it looks like it's forming a regular head and shoulders with a target in the 790s.
In our neckline is that bottom pink line, that meme line.
Yep.
Interesting. So it's breaking it now.
And we're backtesting it and rejecting it as well.
Yeah, I see that. I see it right here and then right here.
Would you be able to pull up a measured move from the top wick to that line?
Yeah.
It's like 790.
So it's from the neckline up.
760.
Yeah, from the neckline all the way to the top.
There you go.
And then you would apply that to the neckline.
To the right? Yeah, basically.
It lines right up with that bottom target line right there.
Yeah.
That would be bad, though, if we hit this low again. So, I mean, there's that. I don't really. Yeah, that's not good.
Thank God for stop losses, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, essentially, if I were you, if I was holding a bag, let's go back to the daily. If I was holding a bag here from this last, this big bottom around here at $10, I would be fine cutting the trade, taking profits. If we start not just lose it, but then reject it, I would then look at that as just another deviation. And on top of the 4-hour inverse, on top of the head and shoulders on the 4-hour, the way the weekly is looking.
What's your red meme line at? What price is it?
Yeah, well, which one? This one? This is
one,
the
yeah,
major one. Yeah, this is my major one at $12.28.
I see. Nice.
So yeah, so then I guess in layman terms, this $12 you want to hold. If we don't hold this $12 region, this has a lot. This can go down easily back down to $10 in my opinion. And if we do go back to $10, I do not think it's going to stop at all.
Yeah, because it's just a bunch of lower highs.
Right. Yeah, no, and that's a great point. Like if we look on the weekly here, it's not the best. It's like basically, was this a macro lower high leading to the lower low? And the way the 4-hour head and shoulder target is giving me all the way down here kind of tells me that, yeah, so like probably this will be a lower high leading to the lower low. And I don't think this will stop at this line here. I think we're going to break down more. Because if price does hit these lows, I do think it's going to break down. The only hope would be you form some kind of double bottom.
And to add on to that, the weekly momentum pivot right now is at $17.85, and it's rejecting the bullish control zone. So that's telling you that the bulls are going to have to work much harder than bears. And after this close, this price number is going to go up to around, at a rough target, $15 area. No, not 15, even higher than that. Around 1880.
Yeah, and so that's not good. That's not good, guys. If you're trading this, I have a rule, like I can't be bullish on something if the weekly and the 5-day momentum pivots are down. It's haram. It's wrong. You should not do that. It's statistically, you're just like fighting probably the trend, which on this case is down. Very much like, remember when Bitcoin was parabolic and the weekly and the 5-day were up? Shorting was impossible in 2023. Longing is very hard here. I'd be very cautious on this deviation then. If you're looking more like a trader, I like the hourly. I don't recommend new people look at this, but I mean, on high volatility assets, you look at the hourly to kind of gauge positions. How I would play this simply would just be, it's very easy to me. I would simply short any retest here. Yeah. And I would have not a hard stop loss. I'd have a manual stop loss, any reclaim of this line, not an hourly, but I'd use it on a 2-hour. If we get any 2-hour closes above this line here, I just cut the trade because what's the reaction here when that happened? Would I want to hold a short here or here?
And what's nice as well is that lines up with those previous projective highs. So if you can close above that, then you've made a new trending move up to the next meme line. But the reason why I'm thinking that, agreeing with you that it's going to reject there, is that we have 3 rejections already there, and we have a gap that it's so close. And price usually always wants to go back to those gaps.
You mean the $12 one, right?
Yeah.
So, I see. Doubt. Yeah, exactly. So on top of everything else, the gap fill lining up here is nice. If you're a trader, look at the rejection at 1380. And then just have and luckily for you, this 2-hour 21 will probably come around that. So very, very easy trade in my opinion. Getting back above this level, I cut the short. And that's just that simple. Sometimes you'll get chopped out, it won't be maybe as simple as we go and retest it and go down. Maybe it comes up and then deviates and then does it. That's fine. But ideally, the basis of why I'm telling you guys this is if you trade this, in my opinion, if I was trading this, I'd watch this 1380 region and I would be shorting it. And if we reclaimed it, I would cut it. and that would be just very simply put, playing the ranges. But as it stands, we're going to $12.
And if I was to play it as a very aggressive trader, I would look at that top meme line and buy end of the year puts there.
This one?
Yeah, at 1370 to 1380. And
Why?
buy around like December 2024 puts. Because
that
if it breaks above that, you would have enough time decay that you would not lose too much to get out. But if it does reject it, then based off of how short the distance is on the expiration, you would have an exponential growth in your P&L.
Yeah. Okay.
So like I don't play options at all. I've actually lost a lot of money in options. But why to me that made sense is because of the weekly setup. You just statistically on the weekly you're just bearish and you have a massive measured move down. So theoretically, as long as that's bearish, then the puts are logical. But yeah, that's just what I would look at. Watch this area as a rejection. And then, ideally, this is the last stand for bulls. There's no coincidence that this gap here is this big. So you really want to hold this level here. And then the argument can be, yes, we're in a downtrend, but ideally we just start basing here, getting those momentum pivots, getting the EMAs, more down, basing here, flipping, right, at an easy flip from resistance to support after breaking out, having back tested it. And then we'd look for potentially a bottom to be formed here. But one thing after the next is still, though, is heavily bearish. And we just know that because, well, look at the daily. That doesn't look good. So that's my analysis on Rivian. Watch the $13 zone. 1380 is a rejection if you're shorting. Cut if we reclaim. And as it stands, I have 1230, 1227 being the next stop.
Let us go. Should we do ETH? Because I feel like it's kind of like the same as we did Bitcoin and Solana, or should we do Microsoft just for variation? What do you guys think?
I
Dealer's
think
choice. Fine,
Ethereum usually follows Bitcoin, so I feel like we should do something else.
That's what I'm saying. Microsoft then for you, Farhan.
Microsoft. Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
Our favorite man.
He's celebrating right now because his fucking vaccines are about to go up.
Bill Gates has everybody's best intention in mind.
Oh, of course.
He's the best man on the planet.
I love him. Uncle Bill. That's what I call him. Except he doesn't want to give me any fucking money.
It's funny how Bill Gates right now is considered wholesome, but if anybody who knows Bill Gates' history, he was one of the most ruthless businessmen in history.
Oh, yeah. Tremendous piece of shit, dude. They pied him in the face in front of everyone. Either way, let me just get to this one. Aquí tienen Rivian, damas y caballeros, y como pueden ver, el tío Salo no se ha metido de nuevo por justamente esto. Estamos viendo la tabla semanal de Rivian. Pueden ver cómo hemos encontrado rechazos cada una de estas veces en esta resistencia. Me recuerda mucho a la resistencia tan famosa de Bitcoin, ¿no? En la que empezamos en el 2021, en diciembre, y empezó para abajo. Ok, ¿qué es lo que estamos viendo? Habíamos hecho un hombro-cabeza-hombro para arriba. Tocamos aquí arriba la zona de los 18.80 y de ahí hemos estado en básicamente bajada constante. Voy a ponerlos en la diaria, traerlos para acá conmigo y acercarnos a esto. Cuando ponemos básicamente todos los promedios, estamos viendo que estamos siendo rechazados por el 100. Aquí está el 55 y el 9, el SMA 200 y el 21 están acá. Todo está por encima de ello. Además de que has hecho altos más bajos en el pasado, muy probablemente esto se dirija muy probablemente a bajos más bajos. ¿Qué es lo que tienes que ver básicamente para olvidarte de todos los problemas y situaciones en las que está Rivian? Déjenme les enseño también la semanal. Puedes ver que aquí estás perdiendo el 21 en los 13.55, perdiste el 9 en los 14.11 y también en los 15.97. Querrías ver un cierre semanal arriba de los 14.11. Si no ves un cierre semanal arriba de los 14.11, muy probablemente vayas a ver un poco más de bajada en este precio. Y lo que va a pasar es que probablemente, voy a quitar estos indicadores, y muy probablemente lo que vaya a pasar es que vayamos a intentar venir a cerrar este gap que existe acá. Y este gap cierra en literalmente los $12. para que tengan una idea. ¿Cuál es el trade más fácil en Rivian en este momento? Probablemente vaya a ser esto, intentar retestear el precio aquí arriba en probablemente los 13.26 y abrir un corto para poder ganar este tipo de movimiento. Si eso te sale, perfecto. Lo que harías es pones el stop manual y simplemente si tienes un cierre arriba de los 13.35, yo creo que Alex lo puso sobre todo muy bien en la de 4 horas. Si tienes un cierre arriba de esta línea, ahí lo cortas y dices, gracias por todo, no lo necesito. Porque fuera de eso, todos los cierres, aquí una confirmación diaria para que vayas a venir para abajo está en los 13.16. El día de hoy cerraste en 13.25 y el post está en 13.26. Estás a nada de poder confirmar básicamente a días que esto puede bajar más. No pinta también Rivian en este momento y yo creo que usar a Enovix como el principio, se los he dicho que lo uso como indicador adelantado, esta subidón de Enovix hasta los 18.63 fue excelente y ahora estamos viendo el caidón. Yo creo que es un poco lo mismo que estamos viendo con Rivian. Alrighty, boys. Let's do Microsoft. Farhan, all you're muted. Let's go. It's traditions.
You always got to remind me to unmute. So right now we have this range that we've been in since around January 2024. Tested the bottom, tested the top. Didn't quite come down to the middle. We front ran it by like literally just a couple of dollars, and then we ended up testing the top again. We broke out, deviated, went back below, and now we're at the middle of the range, which lines up with this 55 EMA. We're still holding this right now. We're getting a move up above the 78.6. What we would look for is a test back around this 50% range, which coincidentally also lines up with this top of meme line right here, which is at $422.27. What I would look for based off of, because we closed below the blue zone, we have not closed below the blue zone on a weekly since, what is this?
There.
July of 2023. After we closed below the blue zone in July of 2023, we got another move down of around 5%, which is not really that much, but we have to recognize how much the market cap of Microsoft is. It's like, I believe,
trillion.
like almost like 2.8 or $3 trillion.
No, it's 3.10.
Oh, is it? Oh, it's over
Yeah.
3?
Yeah.
Yeah. So $3 trillion. You do 5% on that. That is a very massive move.
150 billion.
Also, what lines up with that is that we would test up here. What I would look for is a major rejection, like not just like a little bit of a rejection. I would look to test 430 and then instantly move back from there and get a wick and be below the 61.8, which also lines with this 9 EMA. And that number is at $423.50. We reject that zone. This area is most likely not going to hold. Maybe we get another retest of the 78.6. I don't think we will, but if we do, I would consider that as like, use that. And I don't want to, like, there's no financial advice, but I personally would go all in short there. I would use this area as my stop loss, and then we closed above this, which also lines up with this previous high right here. Then we can target this. Yeah, at 4. This 786 is at 4.9 and 4.10. But the number, yeah, the number we need to close above to be bullish right now is at 420, 425. So if we look at our momentum indicators, we're getting our the momentum starting to flip back up. It's not exactly the best sign you want to see right now because it's at extreme levels, and you see the moving average is still pointed very heavily to the downside, while volatility is pointing down as well. So this is telling you that this is a corrective move to the upside, and that you should be looking for a correction after it goes to the upside, and then a trending move back down towards the downside. The only way to reverse this, right? But before that, this setup gives you a target of the median whenever the volatility is pointed down and momentum is pointed up. And right now, the median is sitting somewhere at $461. But you got to remember, every single weekly close, this median will move down. And this is a stock. And not only is it a stock, but it's one of the biggest stocks in the entire world. So it moves significantly slower than anything else on the planet. So this move is probably going to take around like 2 or 3 months to play out. At that point, and this is on a weekly. So that's about like 3, 4, like 12 weekly closes. At that point, this median is going to go down with every single close. Very likely, it's going to be at this bottom 38.2% level. And what I like to see is that it lines right up with this previous breakdown zone. which right now is at $438. So it seems very logical to me that we get a test back up there. We get a wick and close below this bottom meme line, get everybody very bullish to get to this area, get them a max long, close below it, and then after that, I would have to target at a minimum of this meme line right here. But the reason why I don't think it's going to stop there is because if we look at the jewel, it's giving us a very vertical sell signal to the downside. The last time we've ever had a sell signal to the downside, even comparable, was right here. And as you see, this is even more curved than this is right now. This was just straight down.
Mm-hmm.
And this was around January of 2023 when price went from, I just moved my line. Price went from rejecting this line here at $368, and it went down to $309. And for Microsoft, that is a huge, huge move. And we're getting that exact same setup right now. Not only are we getting that, but we're getting it slightly worse. Plus, if you remember beforehand, where I was talking about the perfect jewel buy signal, this is ideally the perfect jewel sell signal. The pink is below the yellow, and the dark blue is below everything else. And the DMI is like the directional movement index. It tells you like the amount of cash flow that's coming into the asset. Right now, this is red. This has been green. It's been red for a little bit before, but it was still within the bullish control zone, so it's not comparable. Right now, we are well below the bullish control zone. The last time it's ever been red in this, it flipped red to this area, and it stayed red, was in January of 2022. And that's when price went from $337 all the way down to $214, which is like what, a 40% move if I'm doing the math right on Microsoft. And on $3 trillion, 40% move is hundreds of billions of dollars.
Oh yeah.
We go to the monthly. Monthly right now we're getting the same thing. Momentum is pointing solidly towards the downside. The moving average is supporting it, and the volatility is supporting that as well. And also we're getting a sell signal on the jewel on the monthly, a rejection of the bullish control zone, and we're breaking the fast moving average. The only hopium I can give right now is that we can find some type of support here at the yellow. But the reason why I don't think we're gonna do that is because momentum is pointed down and volatility is pointing up. So it's telling us this is not a corrective move. This is a trending move. My invalidation for that, though, is that you always have to have an invalidation. Everybody's wrong on their ideas every time. That's the only thing that's guaranteed, is that you would have to close above this open. And right now, that is at $420.79. If we can close above this open, that's going to turn this into a green hammerhead candle, and then we would have to target this top 38.2, which is currently at $489. But right now, that's just a pipe dream. It's just something that you have to look for.
And on the monthly, right? So you're saying in the monthly you want to close above 420, which is great.
You want to close above 420.79.
Yeah.
If only it was 10 cents lower at 420.69.
Why can't fucking numbers play on our side every now and then? Jesus.
Let me make a call to Bill Gates and tell him to sell a little stock.
Uncle Bill?
My favorite uncle. He gave me a bunch of microchips. He promised that they're beneficial for our health.
They are. They're very good for you.
He like a TED Talk released a bunch of mosquitoes or something.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Oh yeah, he's genetically modifying.
Yeah,
mosquitoes.
He went to this place with a bunch of rich people, and he was talking about malaria. So he released a bunch of mosquitoes, and he was like, "Why should poor people be the only ones who have to deal with malaria?"
And now we all have it. Now we all are getting it. So don't worry about it.
So right now on the weekly on the stochastic momentum, we are heavily pointed down as long as price is below $457.92. As long as we're below there, and we're also getting this red dot right here. This red dot tells you that it's the heavy momentum on the bearish side. So as long as we're pointed down below there, price is going to move down. We have volatility starting to support that as well. When volatility expands from these low levels here at 7%, 5%, 7%, and it moves up, it tells you we're going to get a big move. And the way that you get a direction is that you look at the stochastic momentum. And right now, for now, as long as we're below 457.92, that's pointed down. After the next weekly close, though, because we're so low, we're gonna hit the bearish control zone, and this number is going to move down a lot. And to get an idea of what that number is going to move down to, it's going to be around this previous open, which is at $389.17. Somewhere in that area, that number is going to move down to. If bears are able to close it below that area, at that point, our next logical target is going to be this 200 SMA, which if you were to draw a meme line right here, I know for a fact it's going to line up. Right here with this previous breakout in this consolidation zone, which is at $305.60. And if you look at the divergences, I know for a fact there's going to be bearish divergence. There are some things I don't even have to look at, and I know there's going to be bearish divergence.
Let's see.
Yeah, so right now we have a confirmed regular bearish divergence. We have a possible hidden bullish divergence. And the only way to confirm this as a hidden bullish divergence confirmed is that we would have to close above this 21 EMA here, which also lines up with this previous low here and this consolidation zone. And that 21 EMA is at $421, just $1 above the number we wanted to see it at. But if we close above that, it will confirm that hidden bullish divergence, and it will give us 1, 2, 3, 4 drives. So we'd have to target this bullish control zone. Right now, that is at 463. It's looking like it's not going to happen because we've been rejecting this area. This has been support for the longest time. Support here, support here, support here, support here. So logically, you would expect that to be resistance on the opposite end. So if we reject there, I would expect a wick of like at the very least coming down from 421 all the way down to this previous open, and which also lines up with this wick high, which is around 410. As long as we wick there and close around 410 or below 410, I would say the hidden bullish divergence has been negated, and then this bearish divergence is going to continue to play out. And that would give us that same target of this 200 SMA around the low $300 number.
God damn. All right. So people should be excited if they're holding Microsoft. Vamos. Okay. Aquí tenemos Microsoft. All right. For the next one, so we can close. Alex, you want to do Palantir? And then Farhan, you want to do XRP afterwards? Nice. All right. Okay. Estamos viendo Microsoft en este momento bastante sencilla. Hay básicamente divergencias bajistas y hay una posible divergencia alcista jugando en la tabla semanal. Discúlpenme, lo estoy poniendo en la de 4 horas, que nunca debería de ser. Aquí, como pueden ver. Entonces, aquí ya estamos en la semanal. Voy a rápidamente prender mis hermosos indicadores potentes, ponerlos enfrente de ustedes y quiero que vean esto. ¿Ok? Muy probablemente en este momento lo que vamos a intentar hacer es ir a retestear el EMA 9 y el 21 que están aquí arriba, que los hemos estado encima de todo este tiempo, nos han ayudado y en este momento estamos abajo de ellos. Agarramos el 55 como soporte, rebotamos y vamos por ahí del 21. Lo único que tienen que saber es esto. En la semanal, si cerramos abajo de 421, abajo de eso, muy probablemente vayamos a darnos una vuelta a revisitar este nivel por ahí de los 315, porque recuerden que estos EMAs suben de acuerdo a los cierres arriba y esta zona se vuelve bastante interesante, la zona de los 315, para poder retomar esto. Simplemente porque ya tiene las divergencias bajistas jugando. ¿Cómo puede romper las divergencias bajistas? Cerrando arriba de 422. Cierras arriba de 422, se abre la posibilidad de que haya una divergencia alcista en la tabla y esa divergencia alcista te puede llevar a los 463. Por ahora, el lado más común y lo que nosotros estamos esperando ver acá es literalmente lo que acabamos de decir, que el precio se vaya a dar una vuelta para abajo. Pueden ver que estamos toqueteando aquí con el S&P 200. Acabamos de retomar el 9. Probablemente tengamos este rechazo en los 4.18 del 21 y de ahí nos vayamos a la baja. Así que el precio importante para saber si eres holder de Microsoft son los $420. Quieres cerrar arriba de los $422 si eres alcista y bajista 420 para abajo es tuyo. En este momento hay más control sobre los bajistas que los alcistas, para que lo tengan en mente. Así que hagan sus apuestas con cuidado. Y recuerden, Microsoft no se mueve tanto de este tipo de tamaño, porque Microsoft es una empresa de $3.1 trillón. Así que esos movimientos serían bastante fuertes y también serían buenos para aquellos que quieran entrar. All righty. Alex, let's get to Palantir.
Nice. So Palantir is something we were looking at kind of closely. I just want to first highlight the weekly. I think it's interesting here. We had this weekly pinch on the Bollinger Band. I mean, it didn't pinch for too long, but we had it, and now we have the breakout now above the upper band. solidifying that the weekly is breaking out. I wanted to see when was last time this happened, and essentially last time the bands on Palantir on the weekly were pinching, leading to us. I'm not taking it from this high. I know this blue is blocking it, but essentially just from when we broke above the weekly bands before we fell back into it. That was a nice 124% move. Now, do I think that's going to happen? No, but it basically solidifies that this is strong. This green line here was no accident. We talked about this on stream where if price can basically get back above this last rejection high, drew out, and then base at its support, gives us a great chance at this $33 level. And if we go now to a lower time frame relative, like a 3-day, you can see that more clearly. How we perfectly got above. We're holding it as support. And to me, this looks ready for 33.44. That'll be a massive level for Palantir overall. You can see I got that low from that rejection high wick. If we get back above there, then we'd focus on this $44 region. One thing after the next, though, probably get resistance at $40 psychological level. But as it stands now, Palantir is looking quite strong. It's put in very impressive 3-day candles. Solidifying that the weekly is breaking out to me. And then on top of this last 3-day closure was pretty good. So I'm watching 33.44. That'll be a big decision on Palantir. Does it, are we going to reject that again? Or are we going to reclaim it? Palantir hasn't interacted with that $33 level. There's not a lot of data where it's interacted with it. So it's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. And to add on to that, right now, Palantir on the weekly has a confirmed drive of hidden bullish divergence. So if it does not break below this previous wick low on the weekly, we would have a target for that around $38 to $39.
Yeah, so that's what you said, $38 to $39.
Yeah, but that number is going to move down after every weekly close.
Again,
that's the number it tells you right now based on the RSI.
No, that's great because I have $30 regions where we're both getting, which makes sense. So that's what I have. Essentially the weekly is looking kind of pretty good. I think it is breaking out, and it's nice that it's basing basically off of the upper band right now. The weekly, it's pretty good. So ideally that's what I see. Let's go to the daily here. The daily also looking great. So I have not much to say about Palantir other than it looks great. Ideally, what we'd want now is, I'd really want this green meme line to hold. We don't want a deviation and fall back into this range at 27. So ideally, if you're bullish, and it's really easy, just use these rejection wick highs. The idea then, and this is what I was saying, in super bullish trending markets, it's not very hard to identify spots to bid, because usually what you'll see is you just take the wick high rejection, and then very bullish environments we flip it and base that on support. So I'd watch that $29.78. It's nice the daily EMA 9's also nicely pointed above and will keep going up. Will even help solidify this zone more when this pushes up in the next few closures. Watch this zone though. We don't need to just break out from here. Now, I'm not expecting momentum to slow down because of how the weekly Bollinger Bands are breaking out, but consolidation would be okay, right? Basing on here would be fine. Solidifying the support would be fine before maybe a move up. Perfectly okay with me. Last thing, let me just check the monthly. You can't be bearish when a monthly is looking like this.
You cannot.
It's illegal to be bearish if a monthly is looking like this. I haven't seen many monthly candles that look like this, and this is just.
I can understand if you're bearish if your name is Barrett Soloway. So
even Gareth Soloway is probably bullish on Palantir because there is literally nothing to be bearish about right now at all. Like, I don't see anything bearish. The argument was this could have been maybe a macro lower high if we took this wick here. No, that didn't work. As soon as we broke above, we broke out. On the lower time frames, we're basing on this wick high rejection here as support, getting the expansion. This looks like an insane hammerhead candle, extremely bullish. On top of it, we have this 9 EMA 9, the EMA 9 perfectly holding, which is my bull market constitution if we're using a monthly. So overall, insane chart. This looks great. And yeah, there's no reason to be bearish on this other than just to watch $33. The $30 I have right now, $33.25. I'd watch that zone. If you're more of a closing basis person, you can easily draw another meme line right here, which lines up with Farn's region, $35. So then that puts us in like a little range.
Would you be able to pull a fib level from the top wick to the all-time low?
And we do. It would be then. You want it on the monthly?
Yeah.
Interesting.
From that previous green wick all the way up there.
You just want it from here, huh?
No, nice. From all the way to the left, like the previous, the highest high. The highest high.
Let me extend this.
Yes, right now we're literally right there at the 382. Yeah. Literally at the 382. And that's what I consider as the breakout zone. You break above the 382, then you have to target at least a 236 or not the negative 1.618.
So, yeah, and how I got that, guys, it's easy. Remember, bearish and bullish retracement zones are different. You take the low to the high. On a bullish one, you go from the bottom up. Bearish, you go top down. So we just go from the low here and we expand it up from this top wick, and then we can just extend it, and that's essentially how we got that. So right here, boom, and then
can you double tap your click on one of the lines? Yeah, the lines, and then go into the settings.
How do you go the one next to it?
The one next on the right, the right icon,
the right one, right next to.
Right,
that
one.
There you go.
Okay, now add in the go to left one style. Now change one of them to a negative 1.618. Doesn't really matter.
All right.
No, 1.618.
Oh, 1.6181.
1.618.
You're missing the one and the point.
I added it.
All right, now press enter. Correct. All right, now go up, and that would be your target if you break above the 382.
Wait, what? Oh, I see. Wouldn't that be the target if we break above the 236 or no?
No, the 382, the shallow fib is the one that you want to look for.
110?
That number is going to move down after every single close, but that's where it is right now. And it is a monthly, so it's not going to go up there in a straight line. So it's going to keep coming down. But if it were to make that move right now, that's what the target would be.
This looks right. 107 area, because Al Hunter said 110. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting to me.
The numbers will differ based off of the data. So like even if it's like a couple percentage off, it doesn't really make that much of a difference.
Yeah, no, true. Very interesting to me. And the way the weekly is looking, and remember, right? Last time, let me just throw this off. I appreciate you letting me put that setting on too. Let me throw this off here. Go back here. Turn these off, and let's just look at the weekly again. Right? That honestly doesn't surprise me. When we go and look, when was the last time the weekly was above the bands like we see here, right? Weekly's above the bands. When was the last time? Well, when they pinched and broke out. Now, these were a lot more tighter than here, but they still pinched nevertheless, and they're still breaking out. I don't think this will happen to the degree it played out, but when it was above the weekly bands, we had a 125% move.
Holy shit.
So like, I don't think that'll happen, but per that, fib retracement, that already super exceeds it. Don't think that will happen, but in summary, the basis of this is a strong fucking chart. A lot of momentum up, and you basically have no reason to be bearish on this. Honestly, there's actually no scenario other than if we deviate. If we just basically go back under this high here. The low, if we lose 21.23, I'll be pretty bearish on this. Other than that, I don't think you should be bearish on this. The trend is heavily up. So that's what I'm looking at. This is Palantir, big level, great chart. Anytime you think about shorting this, just remember, go to the monthly and remind yourself what we're dealing with here, which is insane. So great chart. Right now, I have $33 coming up, $33.44 to that $35 zone.
Very nice. And now look at this. We had the good old cup and handle type of pattern. And that gives us a nice little objective towards the upside from the bottom all the way to where he did it and broke it out, right? Which is right here. And if you do look at this, and I was going to say before Farhan pulled up that target, well, you did, Alex. If I was being crazy for thinking this could go to $48, but I believe, yeah, I think it's not that crazy now after listening to this.
That makes sense too. It breaks that wick high that it made on January 2021 and goes up and maybe comes a little down after that. But makes sense to me because basically if we do break like 33 to 35, yeah, my next target is 30. It's $45. So
yeah, it's gonna get good. All right,
and it's interesting. Yeah. Doesn't Palantir help the military? What isn't?
Yeah, involved that's in that? Why do you think it's fucking going up right now? And also, what I feel they're doing is they're throwing CrowdStrike in front of everyone so they can take Palantir services everywhere.
Palantir, wrong. Peter Thiel's company,
right? He's one of the main investors. I think so.
I see. So if JD Vance and Trump win the election, he's gonna be very happy.
Oh, fuck yeah. And that could be, just a change of the regime in the software for everyone. Instead of getting CrowdStrike blackouts, we can get Palantir blackouts now.
Because they're going to be owing some favors. What is his name? The Palantir dude has been funding JD Vance for his entire career. So, some favors.
Interesting. Yeah, he's got some friends. He's got some serious friends right there. Okay, before we get into XRP, let me do this. Ok, estamos viendo Palantir. Quiero que vean la gráfica, estamos viendo la semanal, pero vale la pena ver la mensual y poner simplemente el EMA 9 para que tengan una idea y puedan ver lo alcista que es esta gráfica. Una vez que rompimos a la alza aquí con el EMA 9, hemos tenido un movimiento de 264%. Todo está formando nuevos altos y pueden ver, esta vela es alcista como pocas que has visto en la mensual. Les voy a llevar a la semanal, simplemente poner esto para que lo puedan ver. Una cosa que nos puso Alex que estaba bastante interesante es, si pones los Bollinger Bands en esto, ¿por qué no me aparecieron? Yo, pero pues que me aparezcan las bandas, porque chingados no están apareciendo. ¿La semanal o en la diaria? A ver, vamos a intentar la diaria. Pueden ver que el precio, una vez que se salió del rango, el precio hizo unos movimientos loquísimos. En este punto hizo un movimiento de 105%. A este punto, simplemente cuando rompió a donde está ahorita, el precio lleva un 35 no más, casi 50%. Y en este momento estamos arriba una vez más de las bandas, lo que hace que el precio sea bastante alcista en nuestra opinión. No hay mucho que ver más allá de esto sigue para arriba. Les voy a poner la semanal que nos dé una mejor pinta. Pueden ver cómo habíamos tenido todo este movimiento, la tasa, obviamente la consolidación y luego el breakout a la alza. Nuestro siguiente objetivo son los 32.57, de ahí 37.25 y literalmente a la luna. Esto no tiene cara que va a parar y tiene demasiada fuerza a la alza. Así que aquellos que se metieron en Palantir como mi cuate, pinche Yasser de cagada que compró aquí abajo, felicidades, Yasser. Ahorita te voy a hablar para preguntarte si vendiste o no. Lo bueno es que no habla español el güey. Así que bueno, ahí lo dejamos con eso. All right, that was Palantir.
XRP.
XRP, everyone's fucking favorite. Vámonos con XRP.
Uncle Brad is cooking some shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Brad is the CEO of XRP.
Is he? So XRP does have a CEO, not like Bitcoin. Oh, no, Bitcoin does have a CEO.
We like to call him Brad Garlic House.
Why?
His name is a Gargling House, something like that. But it's nicer to say Garlic House.
I like the Garlic House. It does sound like an Italian restaurant that has incredible bread.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So right now on the, I'll start with the quarterly on XRP. This is one of the things that's making me extremely bullish on XRP. Is that every single time in XRP, whenever we've gotten to the blue zone, we've corrected above it, got a huge wick, went back down to the blue zone, and then we went to the median. We rejected every single time. We went below it. Right now, we're getting a huge candle wick below this previous wick lows. We even took the liquidity from this candle, this one, This was from all the way to April of 2023, where we took all of this liquidity, and we still ended up being above it, and we're still above every single major EMA. We look at our momentum indicators. We're getting volatility, momentum pointed up strongly to the upside, where it tried to correct in the neutral zone. It rejected the neutral zone, and it flipped back up to the bullish control zone, which is telling us that the bulls are strongly in control right now. We don't have that much data right now on here because the data starts from around 2013. So the jewel didn't populate until around 2022. But we are getting the second sign of a jewel buy signal. It was giving us our first sign in April of 2024, but now it's already confirmed as a jewel buy signal. You combine that with a momentum pointed up with volatility pointed down. You have to target the median, which we already hit. If we get a close above the median, our next target has to be the 50% range, which right now, like if this number is going to move down, it's probably going to move down to somewhere around here, which is at $1.36. But right now it's at $1.50. If we go to the monthly is has been trying to hold the blue zone for this entire single time. After this, we made our major low here in 2022. We went down to the 100 EMA. We made a low there. We quickly reclaimed the blue zone. Right now, after this drop on where Bitcoin had, we're like, for comparison, if I were to pull up Bitcoin's a monthly chart, it went all the way down. It did not touch the blue zone. It did not even touch the 21 EMA. And you look at XRP. XRP did exactly the same thing. Where not only did XRP hold every single EMA, it went down to the same area, but it went back up with the wick and it held all of the EMAs. And then we go to the weekly on XRP. The weekly gave us whenever Bitcoin went down to 48K, Bitcoin broke every single level. It even broke below the 38.2. It broke below the 50. It went to around the 61.8 to the 78.6. And right now, XRP did not even go to the bottom of the blue zone. It corrected to the median, and it got a sharp wick back up to the upside, and it closed green. Right now, we don't quite have a silver cross yet on the weekly on XRP, but as long as the price is above, and what I'd love to see is that this silver cross lines right up with this blue zone, which is at 54 cents. As long as the price is above 54 cents on the next weekly open, this is going to confirm us as a silver cross, and I can show you the last time that we had a silver cross on the weekly on XRP. It's been a good minute.
Looks like it.
Right here. This is the last time we had a silver cross. This is around November of 2020. And price went from around 23 cents all the way up to almost $2. And right now we're about to get that on XRP. We're getting at the same time, the jewel is about to give us the perfect buy signal. We need to wait for this pink to cross above the yellow and this light blue to be above all of them. And once that happens, we're going to get the ultimate jewel signal. Let me see if I can find the last time that's happened. I don't see it. Where they've all bunched together. Right here. We had it right here. And let's see what price did whenever that happened. This was in January of 2020. We ended up getting the COVID dump, which was a little bit of a black swan, but we still did, like, if you didn't close this trade here, to be honest, it would have been smart to close it around there. But if you didn't, you still got to move up of 52% after this setup. Let's see if we have another one, which is more valid without the black swan. Right here. We got it right here. Price went from 30 cents all the way up to 48 cents. And that is a 46% move. Right now, we don't have it confirmed yet, but as long as we are above this on price, this 55 EMA and this 38.2 at 54 cents, this is going to confirm on the next weekly open. It's going to give us a silver cross, and then we have to target the 78.6, which is at 80 cents right now. And at that point, the reason why I don't think it's going to stop there is because, as you guys know, XRP is like the biggest joke in the crypto community. Everybody says XRP is a stable coin. It doesn't do anything. Anytime it moves up, you should short it. You see right here, all of these projective highs. There has to be a lot of stop losses in this area. This one, all of these areas, this is going to be a whole bunch of stop losses. Wicks above there, it's going to take all of the liquidity, and it's going to use them to become forced buyers. Because whenever somebody is shorting, they're selling a token. And when they get stopped out or they get liquidated, they're forced to buy those tokens back. which brings the price even higher. And that one is going to be, let me give you a target from that. That would be, if and what I also love to see is that the 78.6 on the Fibonacci level lines right up on the HPDR at the 78.6 to get our confirmation. And we will target around $1.64. This number is going to move down, but it's going to be, I'm guessing, right around that $1.50 target that we were talking about before on the other chart. Let's switch to the divergences, and let's see if there's any divergences in XRP. The thing that I'm wondering right now is with how bullish XRP looks on the higher time frames, with how bearish Bitcoin looks, I'm wondering if they're about to drop something with XRP like news based, and the people who have the insider information are front running it. That's what I'm thinking. If we look at the RSI right here, we are forming an inverse head and shoulders right here. We have the neckline. We're holding exactly where we need to hold at the neckline. We don't have a local low yet. To confirm this is inverse head and shoulders confirmed, we need a local low. And to confirm a local low, you would need 2 candle closures above this candle's open, which right now is at 60 cents. If we get 2 candle closures above there, we have our inverse head and shoulders target, and we could target this zone right here at the top of the bullish critical zone, which right now, but keep in mind, this number is going to move down with every single close. But right now, that number is at $1.17. I'm thinking it's going to drop down to somewhere around 95 cents to $1. Probably correct over there. We get a move back down to somewhere around these rejective highs here at like 86, 87 cents. And then from there, I would say we would move up, and I would have a target on the weekly of, see if it lines up with my monthly target. Right around that same 160 level. See on the...
This is very odd.
On the quarterly, we're getting the first sign of a buy signal in the jewel, which because we haven't had enough data on the quarterly, we've never had a buy signal before, so we wouldn't know if we would have had a buy signal over here. But what we want to see is that we're seeing it within the bearish control zone. The 30 level is the edge of the bearish control zone, so it's rejecting that, and it's telling us that the bulls are still in control. To get a confirmation on this on the monthly, on the quarterly, we want to get a close above this previous open, which right now is at the same 60 cent level. We get a close above there, then we have to target those upper $1, 150 to 160 area. And around $1, to be honest, is where I'm going to start selling. I'm probably going to get rid of half of my bag there, and I'll sell everything at 150. There's people on Twitter talking about $7, $8, $12 targets. I think they're lost in the sauce, major delusional, and they'll hold it all the way back to 30 cents.
They fucking absolutely will. That's like the crypto nature of crypto.
Oh yeah. No? Buy high, sell low, boys.
That's how we operate in there.
Is that not how you're supposed to do it?
That's right. What's wrong with that?
Wait,
I don't understand.
Make money.
So that's why I have less money.
You guys are making money?
Aren't these donations? No. All right, let me pass it along and then let's motherfucking go.
Go.
Básicamente lo que estamos viendo en esto, y le estoy poniendo la de los cuartos, son 3 meses cada una de estas velas, es esto en XRP, es lo interesante de XRP, cómo literalmente crea bajos más altos todo el tiempo, aunque no esté creando altos más altos. En este momento, cuando volteamos a ver el indicador en esta temporalidad, no, en la temporalidad mensual, lo voy a poner en la mensual, que es justamente la primera de la que hablamos. Cuando estamos viendo la temporalidad mensual, estamos viendo que el momentum va para arriba, la volatilidad va para abajo, y eso nos da un target en el HPDR del indicador que está usando Farhan, en el rango del 50%, que está en 1.36. Literalmente, para que tengan una idea, en este momento está tradeando XRP en 56 centavos, casi 57 centavos. Eso sería un movimiento gigantesco. Cuando volteamos a ver la semanal, lo único que queremos es tener 2 cierres arriba de los 57 centavos. justamente de esta línea morada que están viendo ahí. Es lo único que buscamos. 2 cierres arriba de esta línea morada nos da también un objetivo por ahí de los 80 centavos. Así que empezaría esto a moverse para arriba. Lo que creemos, o lo que cree Farhan, que yo también estoy de acuerdo, es toda la gente está acostumbrada a shortear XRP cada que llega a cierto nivel. Y probablemente vaya a haber mucho momentum empujando el precio para arriba, lo que haga que esto haga que toda la gente que esté shorteando tenga que comprar sus monedas, empujando el precio para arriba y lograr llegar a los objetivos que dice. Lo que no creemos es que vayamos a llegar a los objetivos que todo el mundo cree de los 7, 12 dólares. Básicamente venderíamos la mitad de la compra a un dólar y la otra mitad a 1.6, 1.7, algo por ahí. Más allá de eso, yo creo que es demasiado hopium, pero pues bueno, cada quien. Se ve bastante alcista esto. No sabemos por qué. Lo que cree Farhan es que hay algo que, porque estás viendo que Bitcoin va para abajo, que todo tiene pinta bajista, pero esta madre no. Entonces probablemente haya un anuncio y lo que estamos viendo es a los compradores adelantándose en este momento al movimiento. And you see, we also took the 9. Let me see what else. Estamos arriba a punto de retomar el EMA 100, el 55. Y también lo que estábamos a punto de ver, lo que habíamos visto en la semanal, correcto, es en la semanal. Déjenme quito este y este. No, este no. El 9. Lo que estamos a punto de tener es un Silver Cross. Y la última vez que se vio uno de estos cruces plateados, de nuevo, tenemos que cerrar aquí arriba de los 57 centavos, 2 semanas seguidas. Con eso vamos a dar el cruce y una vez que se dé el cruce, efectivamente estamos del otro lado con esto y el objetivo serían los 80 centavos en el siguiente movimiento, que es por acá arriba. Eso es XRP. Damas y caballeros, esto literalmente fue todo. Thank you so much, boys. I think we're done. I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to go get dinner probably. I know it's early for everyone, but I'm old as fuck. I go to sleep at 7 and I wake up at like 4. So
I was about to say, it's like 4:30 over there for you, right?
Good Lord. Go to bed at 7. Wow.
Dude, I legitimately pass out on the couch at 7, but my wife doesn't let me go to the to bed until like 8.
I see.
Is that what happened on Bullion Story, which is like, this man is almost 40 years old?
Yeah, and I'm just fucking passed out. I don't understand why she needs to publish my sad life. I was telling her like an hour before, I want to go to bed. I'm so tired. I wake up so early. I'm doing this. She's like, no, you're going to go to sleep so early? No, you're not going to leave me here. So I'm just there, passed out for an hour, and she's just filming me.
Putting you on blast, bro. Putting you on blast.
I'm not gonna lie, those are pretty funny though.
Just wait until you guys get married. You guys are getting fucked too. Not in a good way. Not in the great way that we're all looking forward to.
No, but you know, today, great stream, good charts. I mean, we've seen a lot of stuff cook up, especially in the crypto market. So just watch closely. And yeah, always happy to be here. I'll see you guys for the next one. That's
thank you for coming. Yeah, thank you so much.
If only we didn't have that mishap with AT&T in the morning.
Well, that and also my stupidity of cutting the streaming too, because the other stream had like 5,000 people on it. But okay, we're going to live with that. Let me just tell everybody remind them about our Discord and hopefully invite them to the Discord without fucking this up. Let me get a fresh link and then you guys can run home. Let me just make sure this is it. Yeah. Okay. Vale, pues, mis estimados. Les dejo acá el enlace en la descripción del video también. Está el enlace para nuestro Discord, bueno, el Discord de Elite Trading Academy, donde van a poder encontrar todo, desde los enlaces para todos los exchanges, también para TradingView con descuentos y con premios, a toda la información, los análisis de Farhan, de Alex y también de muchísimos miembros de la comunidad. Ya somos más de 2,000, gracias a ustedes, y seguimos creciendo y con excelentes analistas dentro de la comunidad que están apoyando unos a otros, enseñándoles, contestando preguntas. Así que dense una vuelta, vale la pena, es completamente gratis. Les mandamos un fuerte abrazo. Gracias a todos ustedes por su tiempo. Thank you so much, boys, and let's go into the weekend and have some fucking fun.